During World War II, England needed to increase its production of coal urgently. But unfortunately, Britain's coal miners threatened to strike, which a disastrous move that could cripple England's war effort, weaken the economy, and leave millions of Britons in the cold. The date was October 31st, 1942. Churchill met with the miners and delivered one of his impassioned speeches at a conference of coal mine operators and miners in Westminster's Central Hall that drove them out of the meeting back into the pits to dig the coal. In those days, coal miners were low on the social ladder and were not well respected. Because of their brutal working conditions, many believed that the military services would be a welcome relief. But when Winston Churchill understood that the work in the coal mines was not insignificant, he knew that without the miners faithfully harvesting coal, the battle could never have been won. It was a short speech, rather routine with no brilliant oratorical flourishes, nothing really memorable until he read the final paragraph. So he concluded his speech to those lowly men with these words: "We must not cast away our great deliverance. We must carry our work to its final conclusion. We shall not fail. And then someday, when children ask, 'What did you do to win the inheritance for us and to make our name so respected among men?' One will say, 'I was a fighter pilot.' Another will say, 'I was in submarine service.' Another would say, 'I marched with the 8th Army.' A fourth would say, 'None of you could have lived without the convoys and the merchant seamen.' And you, in your turn, will say with equal pride and with equal right, 'We cut the coal. We were deep in the earth with our faces to the coal.' Friends, the sailors, the soldiers, and the pilots had glamour and glory attached to their work. But the miners, working deep in the coal mines, were always hidden and away from the limelight. But very often, it is the work of such people who have the faces to the coal which becomes the foundation and support in accomplishment of missions. Friends, it's not your position, but your disposition that matters. Success is not determined by our position, but by our disposition, or rather our attitude. Unsuccessful people think, if only I had that position in the company or that title on the organizational chart, then I could be a success. But successful people know that their success is not the title or not in their title of the work. It is how you perform your work. No matter how large or small your role, you are contributing to a legacy story unfolding within your life, your business, or the company you work for. At social functions, people like to start a conversation by asking, "What do you do?" And many of us automatically respond with our occupation. This is typically because society has conditioned us to organize people into a social hierarchy based on their job title. It's easy to undersell ourselves when we feel that what we bring to the table is common. Thinking this way leads to insignificance and us aiming at mediocrity. However, oftentimes what we feel is common isn't common at all. It's gained through years of unique experience that only we can offer. We are not a job description or a job title, and your job doesn't define who you are as a whole. Always remember that you are you and you are not your job title. Friends, titles don't matter. You must be a leader with or without a title. Lead from within. There's a leader inside of you waiting to be unlocked. You don't have to be called the leader to be a leader. A real leader doesn't depend on a title. A real leader leads through everyday actions, ordinary events, and unusual circumstances. Real leadership is about positive influence. John Quincy Adams, who served as the 6th President of the United States, once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Remember, leadership exists at all levels of an organization. It is not the prerogative of just the top. During a visit to the NASA Space Center in 1962, President John Kennedy noticed a janitor carrying a broom. He interrupted his tour, walked over to the man and said, "Hi, I'm John Kennedy. What are you doing?" "Well, Mr. President," the janitor responded, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." To most people, this janitor was just cleaning the building. But in a more mythic, larger story unfolding around him, he was helping to make history. Take a moment and reflect on this idea. The janitor knew something that most of us struggle with: the purpose of his work. He kept the building clean so that the scientists, engineers, astronauts could focus on their mission of putting the man on the moon. They did not have to worry about spending their time on the trash cans, bathrooms, or hallways. He did that for them. He saw where his contribution fit in the organization. He connected his purpose with theirs. Our proximity to the objective is not determined by our organization chart or distance from the action. It is determined by our mindset. We are the ones who choose to go to work each day with a mindset either of I sweep the floors or I help put a man on the moon. Friends, we are all leaders at heart, and practicing the behavior of leadership daily is the only way to thrive in today's workplace, regardless of your status and your hierarchy. Most of us are always waiting for something to happen before we step up. And while we wait, there are tremendous universe of opportunities that just passes by. So remember, friends, leadership is not about an impressive job description and a fancy job title. Leadership is about influence. It's about responsibility and contributing something for the greater good.